The soft lighting on my face right now is coming from this lighting kit that costs us only $83. In this video, we're going to show you how we set up the lighting and how you can get the same in your space. We're also going to share some general tips on how to get soft lighting, and at the end of the video, we'll let you know if this $83 lighting kit just might be right for you.
Guys, if you want to learn Photoshop, don't use this book. That's just freaky. So just a quick overview of what we're getting with this $83 lighting setup. This is from the brand Mountdog, and we bought it on Amazon. It comes with 2 LED light bulbs, 2 stands, 2 softboxes, and then 2 remote controls. For $83, with everything that comes in it, you're not going to get the best quality of stands and softboxes, and it really does show. They're really lightweight, and then these are pretty cheap too. But for $83, what matters most is the image quality that you're gonna get. And as you can see at the beginning of the video, if you would agree with me, the lighting looked great on Rebecca. So that's what matters most. Since it did come with 2 lights, we're going to use one as our key light, which is this one, and then we're using the second one right here as our fill light. So in general, the first tip when you're trying to get soft lighting is that you want to diffuse your lights. That's where these soft boxes come in with this sheer material. And so the light is now going through that and it's being diffused. So I'm just going to take it off really quick and show you what it looks like when, without this. So as you can see right now, the shadows are a lot harsher than they were before. And by harsh, all I mean is that the shadows are a lot more defined. There should be a smoother transition from the light part to the dark part. And so now when we're throwing softboxes or other materials on top of our light, the light source isn't really the light bulb anymore. It's actually the softbox now. And we're going from this small light source to this larger light source. And that brings us to our next point for how to get soft lighting. And that is, the bigger the light source, the softer it's gonna be. And really what I mean by that also is that the bigger the light source is in comparison to your subject, the softer that light is going to be, and I'm going to tell you what I mean in a minute. So what we can do to get softer lighting is we can technically just replace this light over here with a much bigger light and a much bigger softbox, and it is going to be softer. But what if we push that bigger light 5 feet away from Rebecca? What you're going to find is that the light's going to get harsher because the light is now smaller in perspective to her. So just to demonstrate, we're actually going to back Rebecca up a couple feet away from the light just to show you how much harsher the light gets. And then also just to compensate for the light that we lost, just gonna angle it at the right place, and then we're also going to turn the brightness up a little bit. So now we have about the same output of light on Rebecca's face, but now we're about a foot or 2 further away from the light, and as you can see, it's a lot harsher and not nearly as soft as it was when she was right up against the light. So since the light that we actually have isn't really that large, what you'll notice is that we pushed it as close as possible to Rebecca's face without it showing up on our main camera. And now this light is a lot larger in perspective to Rebecca's face, and that's what's creating this really soft lighting. We're now getting a pretty large light source. So no matter what light you have, whether it's bigger or smaller than this, you still want to get it as close as possible to your subject without it being on camera, and that's going to give you some pretty soft lighting. We also need to mention that we have our key light placed about 45 degrees from Rebecca. It's a little bit higher than her, and then it's angling down at her. And the reason we have it like that is because it helps us get that cinematic look. So the left side of Rebecca's face is lit up really nicely, and as it goes over to the right side, it's fading off a little bit more into shadow. And this added dimension and contrast is what gives it that cinematic look. And then the other added benefit of having the light higher up and angled down is that we're not getting the reflection of the light on her glasses. However, since our key light isn't really that large or wide of a light, we aren't really able to get that nice soft transition from light to dark across Rebecca's face if it weren't for our fill light. So as you can see, when I turn off the fill light, the lighting gets a lot moodier and harsher on Rebecca's face. And there's no longer a nice transition from light to dark. However, when we turn the fill light back on, we can see that it fills in the shadows very nicely and the overall lighting looks much softer. So now you might be asking, why do we have our fill light facing the wall? And we actually tried a few different variants with this light on Rebecca, and we found that bouncing it off the wall was the best because when you're bouncing light off of another wall, it's like another layer of diffusion. Now the light is much softer And since it is our fill light, we don't want it to be as bright or brighter than our key light. We just want it to lift the shadows up a little bit, but still keep that dimension to get that cinematic look still. As you can see, you get a lot of value out of this lighting kit if you know how to use it. Now, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone who does client work or really anything that's bigger than shooting in your bedroom or your home office for YouTube or Instagram. And as you can see, you can't really shoot any wider than we shot in this video because you gotta be really close to the light. Overall, great value for this lighting kit, only $83.
Now that you know how to get soft lighting in your videos and for cheap, check out this video right here and we'll show you how to get a solid color background like this, but at any color.
What?
Catch you on the next video.